Hey, it's Mr. Estrada here, and our learning target says I can rotate points about the origin in the coordinate plane. So first, I want to show you what I mean by rotating points about the origin in the coordinate plane. Alright, so like before, you have a original, and then you're going to have a transformed figure. So our original figure here is the one in pink, and what's happening is that it's being rotated about the origin. So you see how it's just going around this circle here and lands over here. So that's what a rotation around the origin looks like. Looks something like this. And that's what we're going to be working on today. All right, so a rotation is a transformation that turns a figure about a fixed point called the center of rotation. So that's what we just saw there. All right, so some rotation norms. All rotations are done counterclockwise unless told otherwise. So in our example here, you see that the rotation is counterclockwise. It's going this way, and that's what I mean by counterclockwise. Also, rotations are noted with a capital R, and then over here you'll have the angle of rotation, which we'll talk a little bit more about the angle of rotation in a bit. Okay, now you also need to know the following. Say we start off here, you need to know that from here up to here is 90 degrees. And from here to here is 180 degrees. So up to this point over here. And then lastly, you need to know that from here up to this point over here is 270 degrees. And then of course a full circle is 360 degrees. All right, now here is going to be our first and only example for the video. I want you to watch what happens to the original coordinates as we rotate them 90, 180, and 270 degrees about the origin. So let me show you how you would do this on paper. So what you would do is you would graph the original coordinates. So here they are. I went ahead and graphed them already. And what you want to do is you just want to turn your paper. So I'm going to do the 90-degree rotation first. I'm going to do this one first. And you're just going to turn your paper or rotate your paper 90 degrees. Oops, yeah, it went a little too far. Let me bring it back. Okay, there it is, 90 degrees. Now, once you do that, you got to understand that this now becomes your x-axis, and this becomes your y-axis. And then this is your origin. So this would be -1, -2, -3, so on and so forth. This would be 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So the points, after you rotate them 90 degrees, are these points over here. Right? So A is -2, 7. A prime, excuse me, is -2, 7. B prime is -2, 3, and C prime is -7, 7. So that's one way you could perform a rotation in the coordinate plane. You could just turn your paper. All right, let me bring it back to the original. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rotate the points 180 degrees. So that's 90, and one more turn like that is 180 degrees. So now again, right, once you make that turn, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, this is the origin, right? This is -1, -2, -3, so on and so forth. This is -1, -2, -3. And what are the coordinates of the points after I rotate them 180 degrees? You'll notice that the points are -7, -2. For A prime, whoops, let me undo that. For B prime, it's -3, -2, and for C prime, excuse me one second, it's -7, -7. Okay, let's bring it back. We're going to do one more rotation. Bring it back to the original coordinates. And now I'm going to rotate them 270 degrees. So it's 90, that's 180, and that's 270. Again, so once you do that, this becomes the x-axis, this is your y-axis, this is your origin, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. This is -1, this is -2, -3, so on and so forth. And your new coordinates for A prime, B prime, C prime are 2, -7, 2, -3, and 7, -7. So, what do you notice happens to the coordinates? You should notice the following. You should notice that when you rotate 90 degrees, what happens is you switch the coordinates. So you switch the coordinates and negate the original y. So if you go back and you look at the example we just worked on, you'll notice that that's exactly what happened when we rotated 90 degrees. When you rotate 180 degrees, you only negate the signs of x and y. So you're not switching anything, okay? You only negate the signs of x and y. And when you rotate 270 degrees, you're going to switch the coordinates and you're going to negate the original x. Okay, you got to memorize these rules. You have to memorize them because they are not provided for you on your Regents examination. And you are responsible for knowing these 3 rules. Okay, I hope this video helps. Take care.